Hello everyone, my name is Oliver G. You are listening to the Earful Tower podcast, a little escape from your life, whatever you're doing right now. And this week it's going to be a fun one because I've got one of my you shouldn't have favorites, but I've got one of my favorite guests.
I bribed him to say this.
She did bribe me. It is my wife, Lina.
Hi.
Known in some circles as Lovely Lina.
Yes. You gave me that name.
No,
you
it
gave
was
me that name.
Lida, a listener.
Oh, Lida.
Yeah. Hello, Lida.
Okay, now I like it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I think you don't like it because it means you have to be lovely. That's the thing.
Yeah, it's like immense pressure.
Yeah, because usually when I press stop, you start swearing, don't you? Yeah.
Like a sailor, like a Breton sailor.
So Lena's the guest today because she's an expert on today's subject. It's life in Paris without the tourists. And I know she knows a lot about it because you've been right next to me for most of it.
Yeah, it's true.
And I feel like I know a lot about it. So that's what we'll be talking about. We'll talk to you guys.
Self-proclaimed experts.
You have to.
How about that?
You have to be, right?
Yeah, sure.
So we'll walk you guys through exactly what life is like in Paris right now without all the tourists, because I happen to know a lot of people listening to this show message me saying their trip was cancelled or they wish they were here. So close your eyes, imagine you are here, and we'll tell you what life is like in the city of lights, the city of love, and the city of Paris during this unusual deconfinement period. So with that, as I said, close your eyes unless you're driving. Keep them open. And let's play the jingle and get into it.
Ooh, can I do it?
Can you what?
Do the jingle.
You don't know what button to press.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, go on then.
All right.
That wasn't it. I think this button, the Slim and the Beast jingle. I'll press it.
Ah, okay, the one that says press for jingle.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
I'm pressing it. So Slim and the Beast, friends of the show.
Friends of us.
Friends of ours, yeah. They feature in the book, Paris on Air. Won't be talking about that at all because it's out of print. Pardon?
Plug?
Yeah, no pub here. We're talking about Paris. So what we're gonna, maybe a bit of background.
Yeah.
So if you're listening to this in the future, perhaps we're recording this on the 12th of July to be recorded on the 13th
My
of July.
My father's birthday.
Yes, as it happens. Mm-hmm. And Paris has been out of lockdown for probably about a month now, I'd say, a bit more probably.
Yeah,
and
that sounds about right.
Things are pretty much back to normal.
You wouldn't really notice much if you just happen to go down a random street.
Exactly. If you woke up from a coma today,
you're fine.
Yeah. Depends how long you've been in the coma. You're gonna freak out.
Fine.
We'd tell you slowly.
I take it back. It's not fine.
So if you woke up from a coma feeling great,
yeah,
we wouldn't tell you any of the bad news that's happening. We put you out on the streets of Paris. All you'd probably say is, why do I have to wear a mask in the department stores? And where is everyone considering it's beautiful weather?
Exactly.
That's what you'd say.
And where are the tourists?
That's what you'd say. And the answers to this is, practically speaking, most people aren't wearing masks around Paris. It's not something you have to do, except when you're in a department store or most shops.
Yeah,
or
it's
museums.
Advised to do it.
No, you have to in some places. You won't get in without it. It says porte de masque obligatoire. And typically they make you squeeze some of that gel into your hands as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, usually they kind of force you to.
Sometimes they do.
They take your hand and squeeze it into it.
It's true. And we'll talk to you through all these places because we've been to some of the most famous places in the past week.
Yeah, places that we haven't really been to before.
Good segue into one of them, actually. Why don't we start with your birthday?
All right.
Which was just the other day as well.
Just the other day.
And we went to all kinds of... So what happened is, firstly, we went to a really nice restaurant for lunch, the Peninsula, which I shared on Instagram. You should all go to it.
Goodness.
Oiseau Blanc, the restaurant
it's so
on top.
Nice. View over all of Paris, even the Eiffel Tower.
Yep.
I mean, it's very cool.
Very nice place. And we said... So here's an example. We were talking to the waitress and she said, a lot of Parisians are coming here at the moment when usually they wouldn't bother because they know they have to compete with many tourists to get a seat.
Exactly.
And how long did she say that?
I was like weeks. Months.
Yeah. Whereas now you can call up the day before. I'm not saying I did it the day before for your birthday, but you can.
Surely you had it planned for months in advance, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
But then after that, we walked onto the Champs-Élysées, the famous avenue. Some say the most beautiful avenue in the world.
Some say the only avenue in the world.
Do they?
Yeah, but they're wrong.
I'm not a huge fan of the Champs-Elysees.
Me neither.
In fact, I would say typically...
Like, normally, I'm not.
Tourists. Too many tourists.
Yes, it's too packed.
But not so much at the moment.
No. So do you kind of like it now?
It's not bad.
It's not bad.
We walked past the Louis Vuitton flagship store.
It was a hot day.
Would it usually have a lot of a big queue there?
Are you kidding?
I can't remember.
Like every time you go past the big Louis Vuitton shop, it's like, oh, it's a massive queue outside.
How many people?
It could be like 50, you know?
Yeah, and that's a slow-moving queue. It isn't like a nightclub where they let in 20 at a time. This is, you got to wait for people in there buying a handbag and having champagne.
I've never been in.
No, neither have I.
Just because of that.
So we got straight in. And the guy there, don't know if it's true, but he told us. So what happens is you walk in and they assign a guy to walk around with you, or a girl,
like a personal guide.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. I thought.
Yeah,
it's okay.
I felt a little bit like
by,
a petty thief, which you know.
You wouldn't be a petty thief.
My kleptomania has nothing to do with that.
You'd be a grand thief if you were to get something from in there. But
I think so.
They follow you around. Yeah, they keep on your tail the whole time. You can't shake them. Tried.
Yeah.
But
you're like, look over there. It's Chanel.
Yeah.
He's like, what?
We had a really nice guy, and he said to us that more tourists go through the doors of the Louis Vuitton flagship store on a normal day than go up the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah.
And I believe him.
I do believe him. It's a big shop.
And we got in there without queuing up at all.
Yeah.
And he toured us around. He told us everything we wanted to know. We had a good old laugh.
Yeah, we even talked about like the architecture of the store, and like it was quite obvious that we weren't the kind that usually frequents or buy a lot of Louis Vuitton
Here's a
stuff.
fun fact, according to our guy as well. I said, what percentage of people that come through these doors buy something? And he said 75%, which I'm not sure I believe.
I don't know. I feel like he pressured us there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at the end, I said, Philippe, because that was his name. I said, we're going to be the 25%. Sorry about that.
Oh, dear.
And we got out of there. But anyway, so that place was rather empty, as was Peninsula. If we fast forward to today and yesterday, we went to... today we went for brunch. A little fact about Lina and I. Every Sunday afternoon, Lina says, let's go out for a nice brunch or lunch. And every Sunday afternoon in the history of our time in Paris, I say, but Lina, it's Sunday, we never get in. We're never going to get in anywhere. It's not worth it. You've got to wait for 2 hours. And then today we thought...
It's true.
It's true.
It's true. It's a terrible habit.
I say, we both freelance. We can go on Tuesday.
But there's something about Sunday, you know.
It's true.
Yeah.
But anyway, we went to Katoum, friends of the show, Tom Clark, and waltzed in there. I'm sorry to say for Tom and for business of all the cafes and restaurants, but not... There was
easy to get a table.
There were 3 people in there.
Yeah.
And that is one of the...
That's one of the hot spots for brunch.
I say that the godfather of cafes is Tom Clark of Paris Cafes, and it's really a cool place. Went in there, great food, but didn't have to wait for it.
Amazing food, amazing coffee.
Which was weird to sit there in an empty place.
I know, it just felt like too good.
And then we walked onto the Bon Marché, where staff members were so bored they were all just on their mobile phones scrolling around on Tinder, I suppose.
Yeah, it's true.
They
were kind of like, like zombies, just like stopping and like just pausing until they see some movements, but they were like just hanging around.
It wasn't a good look for the department store, to be honest.
No.
Although, even on busy times, they often have staff out the front, like in a queue out the front smoking cigarettes, I've noticed, which isn't a good look for them either, for such a lovely place.
I know, but I feel like that's a very Parisian thing.
You think?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
I do, actually.
Speaking of, shout out to Judy, the coffee shop cafe that we went to the other day.
The vegetarian.
Yeah.
Nice.
Out the front, they have a big sign saying, terrasse non-fumeur.
I've never seen that in Paris.
So it
was the first
smoking.
time, and I love it.
That was interesting. It was cool.
Yeah.
Huh? So, so that place was also
and
pretty
it was
quiet.
interesting, the waitress, she was like, it's not super popular with the Parisians.
She said it was very rare that those terraces exist as well. So that was pretty fun. What else have we seen? The Luxembourg Gardens, of course. I have a little list to my left.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
The Luxembourg Gardens we went to, and that was for a Saturday afternoon when we were there, dead.
Yeah.
It was kind of
again,
eerie.
Easy to get a seat.
Yeah, we were talking about it when we were there. In fact, a Romanian guy, I was filming butterflies,
As you do.
This guy from Romania messaged me that night, and he goes, I bought the last copy of your book from Shakespeare and Company. I was like, right on, great, that's cool. He goes, I saw you taking pictures of butterflies in the Luxembourg Gardens.
No way.
He says, too shy to come say hello.
Oh, you should have. I wish you would have.
What do you say to people listening who are in similar predicaments?
That would have been cool.
Say hello?
Yeah.
Say hello, guys. I actually get a fair few emails from people that say, I saw you. I got one the other day. Someone said they think they were sitting next to me on a metro because the guy had an Australian accent, so it must have been me. I rarely take the metro though, so I don't think it was. But I like it.
I like that. They're like narrowing it down. Like it's probably him. Australian accent. It's probably him.
There's quite a few Australians in this city. Yeah. In fact, Judy, that place, is one of the people that run it is Australian. So is Khartoum.
There's a connection here.
Isn't Louis Vuitton Australian?
Sure.
No. What else have we... so to switch sort of more to an interview format, as this show usually is, do you like it, the city, when it's empty of tourists?
I have to say I do.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Why? I mean, there's just more space. There's more breathing room. There's, space, air, floor space, seat space, table space.
I think Parisians like it too, and a lot of Parisians have been doing touristy things that they perhaps usually wouldn't.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, just look at us. It's kind of like the same.
We're being real touristy tourists at the moment.
Yeah.
But also the mayor of Montmartre, who I did a walk show on in Rue des Abbesses and beyond the other day, said he took his children up the Eiffel Tower recently.
Right.
Which Parisians rarely
do. It's very rare. Yeah, I see a few friends have been doing the same thing. Like posting pictures from like all these touristy spots, and you're like, well, you never really hang out there otherwise, but look here.
It's easy to get through the catacombs, I hear. Which is
that is
worst.
Notoriously terrible for queuing.
That's got the worst in Paris, probably. And of course the Louvre's reopened, and that's easy to get into too, I believe. We went to Musée d'Orsay, no queue at all. So there you go. The other.
Do you like it?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Well, I'm. It's interesting because I know how important tourism is to the city.
Yeah.
So I know people are hurting from it.
That's the thing when you see it, like the small businesses, and it's like they're so friendly and the service is amazing, and you get a table straight away. But like, there's a sadness in their eyes.
Yeah, that's true. I've got to feel sorry for the people who rely on tourism, because I know it's hard for them, but from a totally personal point of view, it's amazing now. And I was thinking about it when we were sitting in Khartoum. A lot of the people who live here are probably saying, it's so nice with fewer people. And I'm thinking, how important, like, you get, when you move to a city or when you live in a city, you know that's what comes with the, comes with the bargain.
Yeah, and like in a world city, you're bound to get tourists. It's part of the deal.
Well, I wonder if a lot of Parisians are going to move out after seeing this and go, I want to go live in the countryside.
Well, I've heard a few people say that. They're like, well, we started looking at houses, we can commute. If we have to be really, we can work from home.
Yeah, we got a very close friend who still hasn't come back since leaving for the confinement.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. Wonder if she's listening. Hello, if you are. We won't name you.
We won't name you, but please come back.
The other thing that's really good, of course, and I'm not contractually obliged to say it, but because there are no tourists here, the people over at Paris Perfect Apartment Rentals, the lovely people, have let us use another one of their apartments.
And this is fabulous.
The place we're staying, if you want to, I'll put it in the show notes, but if you are, sitting there driving or dreaming or trying to picture it, you should follow on Instagram. Both of us have been posting pictures. But this place we're in is called the Montagny, you might say. Montagny. It is the best apartment I've ever stayed in.
Yeah, by far.
Even better than any hotel I've ever stayed in.
It's beautiful. Is so good that Marie Antoinette herself would be happy here.
You think? I don't think she'd be happy.
Really?
No.
What do you think she'd complain about?
The size.
Really?
She was in Versailles. This is a mega step down.
Yeah, but this is like, she'd be like, ooh, it's my tiny Parisian retreat.
She had a whole hamlet built for her.
Okay, it's my teeny tiny Parisian retreat.
I don't know about Marie Antoinette.
Okay,
I think you're stretching
reel it in here. Reel it in.
I think she was like the queen of luxury.
Who then? Vanessa Paradis? I don't know why I thought of her.
I think if Kylie Minogue came to Paris, she'd be quite happy.
Would he be happy?
Kylie Minogue.
Kylie.
Yeah.
All right, sure.
I think Emmanuel Macron could have this as a backup pad if he was on the other side of town.
Oh, yeah.
He would be happy with it, putting on Marie Antoinette. Anyway, the place is amazing. It's called Montagny by Paris Perfect. Loads of pictures. And what it is they've let us stay here because obviously they hope that we talk about it.
Mm-hmm. And look at us.
And we are. But it is that good.
It is.
So check them out if you want to stay. This place is on Montessuie. Hard to pronounce, like Montaigu, hard to spell.
It is. It's a lot of like double.
Good Scrabble score with that M and Y. Mm-hmm. You'd probably clear all your letters. 50-point bonus.
Worth it.
Oof.
Great.
But you can't. Before you guys write in, I know you can't do names on Scrabble.
Yeah, but maybe
someone was going to write in. Yeah.
Right, yeah.
So we're right near the Eiffel Tower.
That person who's going to write in. Delete. Delete that email.
We can see the Eiffel Tower from the balconies, the small balconies, but there are 3 of them, and it's delightful. But see, that's another selfish reason I quite like this empty
that's the
city.
thing. All of these reasons are selfish. And on the bigger scheme, bigger picture, it wouldn't work.
Yeah,
but it's
true.
lovely.
That's true. But it's weird because...
One can't help but enjoy.
No, that's true. It's true. It's true. So, I mean, that's the city. Very empty.
Yeah.
Enjoyable. Parisians are loving it. But
do you feel like you don't remember almost how it was before? Because I've been thinking that. It's been so long now that it's like the comparison is just... I don't know.
Well, I remember when we were in Khartoum today and I said to you, sometimes in Paris, the service can be super slow.
Yeah.
If you order dinner, we went out for dinner in a busy Pigalle place about 6 months ago, and the food took an hour to come.
It did.
And even when we asked them, and there weren't that many people in there.
It's a small place.
20 people maximum.
Yeah.
And I just remember, I'm not an angry guy, but I remember getting frustrated. I mean, like, should we just leave? This is crazy. What are they doing? I was really hungry, I think. And that feeling seems so distant now.
Yeah.
When, like, today they brought the food over directly, immediately. The drinks immediately. No one forgets anything because they haven't got a million things going on. So you guys who are dreaming of being in Paris, I hate to say it, but you would love it right now. What a mean thing for me to say. But
very mean.
But it's...
very
you
mean.
can live vicariously.
Stop flaunting it.
No, I think people... I've also been getting a lot of emails from people saying how much they're enjoying, as sad as it is that they can't be here, they're enjoying living vicariously through Instagram stories and Facebook posts and stuff like that.
I've heard that too.
YouTube videos.
Which is nice. I mean, thank goodness for technology and social media in this instance. It's amazing.
I've also been
such a good way of staying in contact.
Yeah, I've been talking to a lot of people online, face to face, through Zoom. Yeah. You're a fan of Zoom? Do you use Zoom?
I've been known to use Zoom.
You've been known to Zoom. So I'll tell you a bit about it, Lina, because I know you don't actually probably know so much about what I've been doing. Assuming you're always in a different room.
You lock me out.
Yeah. But also, I want to say this because I get a lot of messages on Instagram. Every time I say I'm doing one... Okay, let me rewind. There could be a new listener out there as well, and I'm sure a lot of the regular listeners don't know much about this either. But I wrote a book about 6 months ago. I published it, self-published it, and I was meant to do a big US tour with you, Lina. And then that obviously got cancelled because of the pandemic, and Boston, the city of Boston, has an Alliance Française, a language school, and they were the first. They contacted me and say, why don't you do a Zoom chat with our members and talk about your book? And it was a really good one. There were like 60, 70, 80 people there. Really good questions. The host was brilliant. It was really good. Anyway, wind of that passed through the Alliance Française. And since then I've done, I would say, maybe...
You've done loads.
Maybe 20, I'd say. 20?
Yeah, I mean...
With more to come. So if you're in the cities of like Chicago, Washington, D.C., Phoenix, and nearby Baltimore, another city near Chicago, Toronto soon, I think, and more, Manchester in England, it's just sort of spinning.
Manchester in England?
Yeah, it's going to go international.
You didn't tell me about that.
Well, there you go. That's coming up soon as well.
That's fun.
So these are all Portland. I've got another one coming up. But anyway, when I write on Instagram story, hey, tonight I'm going to be in Hawaii, because I was this morning.
Yeah.
Every time someone messages, that's so irresponsible of you to be traveling, gathering people every time.
You couldn't even get there if you tried.
It's true, I know. Yeah.
Taking the Hot air balloon.
Yeah, so this world tour is virtual. It's on Zoom. They're usually free to watch, so you should sign up for one. Sometimes I do them without the Alliance Française. I just do them publicly. But the idea is they interview me for a while, and then I answer questions. And people often, I'm sure they care about the book, but they immediately ask questions about life in Paris.
Yeah.
And that is how I know that people want to hear this and that they enjoy living vicariously through our posts and our stories. So all that to say, the Zoom tours are ongoing and they're online. Don't stress,
exciting.
Everyone. Another question we get asked a lot, why aren't people wearing masks?
Yes.
And I think I've explained that already.
I think so.
You don't have
I think
to.
we covered that.
So to finish on that Zoom chat for a second, there's two things I want to sort of put out there. One is, besides Manchester, all of the Zoom chats have been in the States. And I know there are a lot of listeners in Australia.
Yeah.
And
do you know where in Australia mostly?
I think biggest cities, Melbourne, and then Sydney. I can see where people are listening. I know there are a lot of you out there listening right now, probably feeling a little bit guilty because none of the... I emailed every Alliance Française in Australia, the big ones. None of them responded.
What?
Except Brisbane.
Really?
And they said, Brisbane said, yes, can I call you at this time? And it was 4 a.m. Paris time. I was like, well, that's a bit unreasonable. Let's do this time. Never heard back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go rogue. I'm going to organize my own Zoom chats for Australia. So if you guys want to chat about Paris, the book, I'll just do it myself.
Very cool.
Maybe I'll get a co-host. Maybe
do it.
I won't ask you to do it. We'll get someone in Australia to do it.
Yeah.
Anyway, same with other cities. If you think you can gather 10 plus people and want to talk about Paris on air, I'm there. I'm going to do a book club.
That even rhymed.
Paris on air, I'm there.
Yeah.
There's a family. There's a woman in California, I think, and their book club chose the book as their monthly book. And I was chatting with her. I was very honored to be a book club book. And I said, I'll do a Zoom. That'll be fun. Even though you've already, the point is to promote the book, but if they've read it, that'll be cool.
Yeah, it's a nice
so
chat.
If you got a group of 10 people together, I'll do a Zoom with you for fun. Why not? And the other Zoom thing I wanted to mention, I'm going to experiment something new.
Yeah, this one is fun.
Partly because I'll probably take a little holiday soon and I want to keep things rolling a little bit. And partly because I think it could really work, is I'm going to experiment with doing some podcast episodes on Zoom live in front of an audience around the world. So the idea will be if you were the guest, it's easy. You're in the room with me, but I could call anyone. Let's just take a random person. Let's say my brother Eddie.
Yep.
He's been on the show for a while. I'll Zoom with him with 100 people watching. And then
live.
Yeah, live.
Yeah.
And then I'll do, okay, welcome to the podcast, Eddie. Blah, blah, blah. Here's the episode. And everyone will be muted. And then after 25 minutes, I'll say, and that's the end of the episode. Unmute, hang around for half an hour answering questions.
I think it's really cool. It's very interactive.
Obviously, it won't be Eddie, but I don't want to use the name of a potential guest in case it doesn't work out.
True.
And they might not want to do a Zoom in front of 100 people.
You never know.
So then I'll use that audio, make that into the podcast episode, and the 100 people get a chance to chat with whoever the cool guest might be. And to start, I think it's pretty safe to bet that those spaces will be reserved for the people who make this show possible. Patreon supporters. Patreon.com/the Earful Tower.
Oops, my trumpet went over
you
that
trumpeted
link.
over the link.
I did.
I think people get by now where Patreon is. And I think that's what I'm going to experiment with for the very next episode, I think. So that should be pretty fun.
That's exciting.
Sign up today and you'll get a chance to watch it. Now, I want to read some... is there anything you want to talk about before we read some?
Put me on the spot there.
Congrats on 10,000 followers on Instagram.
Well.
That's psychotic.
Thank you very much.
That's pretty good. That shows that there is an appetite for art.
I'm excited to try the swipe up link that I have been yearning for.
That's it, really?
I have been yearning
for.
Is that a word? That's a word, right?
Yeah.
Yearning.
Yeah.
Learning.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Why have you been yearning for it?
Because... no one's gonna... You know when you say... When you look around on Instagram and you see someone link in bio... And everyone's like, what the...
No one cares.
What does that mean? Yeah. What does that even mean? Link in bio.
Yeah.
It's like link in bio.
Yeah.
Sounds weird. Sounds like a tech company. Anyways...
An unsuccessful tech company.
It does. And I don't think
moving out to
anyone
Silicon
cares.
Valley. I've got link in bio. Oh, mate, you got to do a 5-letter word if you want to make it.
It's so bad.
Yeah.
But now you can be like, swipe up.
So what Lina means is I don't know why, but when you get 10,000 Instagram followers, it lets you in the vanishing stories at the top do a swipe up link. So when you say, I've done a print, it's beautiful, do you want to look at my art? People can just tap.
Yeah, so the reason why I'm like excited to do it, it'd be like way much easier. Can you say that?
Mm-hmm.
Way easier.
You can say it. I don't know if it's right.
It'll be way easier to share things.
Yeah.
It'll be smooth and fluid. So
Sure.
that's cool.
It helps for me to send people towards like the episodes.
Yeah.
For example.
Just make it easier for everyone.
Exactly.
Everyone included. More enjoyable.
But you can follow Lina at Parisian Postcards.
Oh, thank you. Yes, you may. You may. That just reminds me of something that someone sent you. I think it was today, right?
Yeah, are you talking about the funny email I got?
Yes, it's such a funny email.
What a great segue, because I was just thinking we should finish on some reviews and emails.
Yeah, but this was like it was very funny.
Okay.
Can we talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I got. I've been getting a lot of interesting emails lately. I think I kind of said that a bit lately, and I'm not underplaying it. Like, there's never been so many messages as of lately, and I don't really know what prompted it. Maybe it was the New York Times article.
Could be.
A lot of new people in here, but here's a particularly fun one. It's from Nat Monk. I wish I hadn't showed you this. I wish I'd saved it for you. But so there's a. It starts with a text.
I like surprised. Okay.
It starts with text, but then there's a picture. But I'll explain the picture to people because that's what I saw first too. It's a beautiful little white kitten.
So cute.
Really sort
big,
of
fluffy, innocent looking.
Yeah.
Probably is innocent.
I don't know, but it's got it's got a tough guy collar around it.
Yeah, it's true.
And it's got beautiful pale blue eyes and pink ears, and it's really it's a little sort of ragdoll kitten, and looks like a cotton wool bud. And so Nat writes, just want to share with you that in keeping with my love for Paris and in search of a perfect name for my new ragdoll kitten, that's where I got that from, by the way,
Oh, yeah.
along with your book resting on my fireplace mantle, his name was easy, Oliver.
Oh my god.
So there's a cat called Oliver named...
I love it. I love that so much.
At least slightly after me, I suppose.
Yes.
Which is kind of one of the funniest things.
That's so funny.
That I've seen.
Love that.
Thanks for that, Nat. I thought that was pretty funny. The cats...
Do you think you will meet Oliver one day?
I don't know. I don't know, but thanks for the email. It made me chuckle. Shall I read some reviews?
Yeah.
I'll read two.
Okay.
The top two.
Sure.
We'll start with...
One will do, but fine.
Alright, maybe I'll just do the top one.
No, I'm joking.
So fantastic. Love this podcast, writes Minza from the States, United States. I thoroughly enjoy Oliver's podcast along with his producer James and all of the many guests. Minza...
That was a while ago.
James, the producer of the podcast, left after about, I'd say, 20 episodes. So the last 180 have been produced by me.
James.
You know what the weird thing is? I don't know if I've ever said that. I don't know if I've ever said on the show that I do everything.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think so.
It's a one-man show.
Yeah, this is totally a one-man show.
Yeah, this is a one-man rodeo.
Yeah, I edit it. That's why I do it like it's live.
You're the cow and the rider.
Rodeo. I think it's Rodeo and Rodeo Drive.
Are you serious?
Yeah. How long have you been saying
This is embarrassing. The
No,
amount
not.
I talk about it.
So James was great, but he moved to London, so I've just been doing it since then. But we'll give him the credit for those first 20 episodes, but since then it's been me. Living on the west coast of the US makes it challenging to visit Paris very often, but this podcast is the perfect antidote. Love the storytelling, the language laughs, the tidbits of Paris history and places to visit in the city, especially the coffee shops. Well, you would have liked this episode then, Minza.
Yep.
Judy Kutum. It makes me feel like I'm there even when I'm not. Thank you for this. See, it's this armchair travel.
That's nice.
People like the armchair travel.
Yeah, you gotta imagine a bit. That's nice.
Thank you for the review. It's always nice to get a good review. Thanks for sending that one in, Minza.
Can I read the other one?
Yeah, sure.
Alright.
There you go.
Which one?
The second one. I just read the
The
top
minus
two.
5 stars?
Oh,
joking.
it's funny that you say that because there's read the review first. Yeah.
Okay, so the title. Wishing I could get to Paris.
Oh, sounds good.
Dot.
Sounds good. I only glanced at this one, so this is a real reaction.
But Oliver almost makes me feel like I'm there. I've been to Paris probably half a dozen times, recognized some places Oliver mentioned.
That's a good, half a dozen times is good.
That's 6 times.
Yeah.
I really enjoy his variety of topics, and I recently purchased his book, and I'm
Your pronunciation is out the window today.
forward to enjoying it too.
Oh, thank you.
That is really nice.
What's the name?
That is Mass Lady.
I look over your shoulder. That was what I would call...
That's gleaming.
That's what I would call a 5-star review.
Oh, yeah.
I look over your shoulder, see 4 stars.
Yeah, I didn't mention that because
No,
I was
I'll
like...
mention it.
Yeah.
4 stars, Mass Lady. Come on.
Yeah, Mass Lady.
Well, I appreciate
I wonder
all
what
reviews.
warrants a 5-star for Mass Lady.
Yeah. She hasn't read the book. Maybe she'll edit it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But keep sending in those reviews if nothing else.
I mean, it was nice.
It was a lovely review. It was a 5-star review.
It was.
Yeah. Send in the reviews, even if you want to send in a mean one. If you hate the show, I feel sorry for the people who get addicted to it and hate it. And if you need to vent, there are people, I know, there are people who hate it.
You serious?
I've got emails from them before.
But they keep listening.
There's an addictive quality to it. I don't know. If you hate the show and need to vent, I don't mind. If you justifiably hate it, leave a 1-star review. I don't mind. But if you like the show, push down those 1-star reviews with your good reviews. And I would like to say the same thing about Goodreads, where I won't read it today, but it helps. I'll tell you also why I ask for reviews on the book, Paris on Air, and maybe we'll finish on this note. I went into a bookshop. Should I name the bookshop? I don't know if I should name the bookshop.
Nah.
Okay. There are a handful of English bookshops in this city, and one of them I took in a copy of my book. Now, as I mentioned before, this is self-published, and when you self-publish it, it's a bit like Dolomite, the Eddie Murphy movie that we saw on Netflix. Mm-hmm. It's like you're against the world a little bit. I'm very fortunate I have this lovely group of listeners. Mm-hmm. Super fortunate, and that's how it sold out. But I have to prove that book to everyone who I meet if I want to get it in the shop, and it's quite hard. It's very hard, actually. It's very challenging. So I walk into this bookshop, and I said, "Hey, I've published this book. I'm about to order some more. I just want to know if you'd like some, because I'd love to order accordingly." And the guy says, "Who's the publisher?" I said, "Self-published." And he said, "Well, we can't get your book in then." And I was like, "Oh, well, why not? Like, I can do the delivery and everything. Is there a reason?" And he said, "No, it's impossible." And I said, "Well, I understand that. It was great, I'm not going to push it. If that's your rule, then so it is. But I have them and I can do it." And he said, "Let me look at it." It was a French guy. I don't know if that's relevant for the story, though. So I say it anyway, so you can imagine. So I'm holding the book. He says, "Can I take a look at it?" And I hand it to him, and he looks at it, and he goes, "Well, what is the book?" I said, "It's a memoir. I wrote it." And he goes, "Well, who are you? Are you some kind of artist or something?" And I was like, "No, I've got a podcast. Some people listen to it. The book was popular in." I said the book was popular in Shakespeare and Company. I said it sold 150 copies in 2 weeks or something. And he goes, "Oh yeah?" And then he looks at it and he goes, "Who is this Olivier J?" I said, "Well, that's me." And he goes, "Well, what's the book? Why should we get the book?" And I said, "I don't know, like it's a memoir. I think it's good. What do you want me to say?" And he looks at it and he's really quite disgustedly looking through it. You were there. You can back me up.
Yeah, so far,
but
so true.
I was smiling because it doesn't matter. Like people are buying the book anyway. So I went in there knowing that he couldn't hurt my feelings, sort of. Anyway, his colleague came over and looked at the back, which there's a book here. I'm going to look at what it says at the top. The colleague comes over, looks at the back, and the top quote is "One of our greatest Parisian voices" by Caroline de Maigret, the supermodel. She was so lovely to say that. And next to the two of them, they have their bestseller list. And at the top of the bestseller list is Caroline de Maigret's book and her name. So they read through it. There's Baxter and Leibovitz and David Downey. And they go, "Well, the comments are very good." And I go, "Well, you don't need to order many." And I just think, I'm trying to hustle them a little bit. And he goes, "How did it work with Shakespeare?" I said, "I brought in 6 to Shakespeare and Company to begin with." He goes, "We'll take 10. And I was like,
All right then,
my job is done. I'll see you later. So it's pretty weird. It's pretty hard to sell to bookshops. And I don't rather enjoy doing it, but it's nice.
Maybe you should start saying it's an Eiffel Tower publishing.
Yeah, I should say that.
You know?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Or is that illegal?
I don't know, but what I will tell you is it's... I don't think it's illegal.
I don't know.
What I will tell you is it's actually way better for me when I sell it to people via my own online shop. So the bookshops, you know, it's lovely to be in them, but if you guys keep buying it online, that actually makes my day. So I'll leave it on that note. There's a new link I put up, a pre-order link, theeiffeltower.com/pre-order. It's going to be cheaper for postage wherever you are because I'm going to ship it to Canada and Australia and France and the US in bulk. And if you go to theeiffeltower.com/combo, do you know what you get?
No, tell me.
The book and the audio experience for €30. That's a steal. I'll leave you guys on that. It is a steal.
You remind me of like a TV shop guy.
It's because I've been doing all these Zooms with people.
It's great.
Yeah, I'm sitting in front of all these people on Zoom holding the book up. I go, I get the book, and they're like, we don't care about your book. We're here because we got nothing to do.
It's cheap.
We're in lockdown. I'm like, combo. They go, we don't even know what a combo is. What is that? Anyway, guys, if you enjoy the show and you want to make it better, consider buying the book because it'll help me grow. And when the show grows, it gets better. That is a fact. Or check out patreon.com/theeiffeltower. Loads of bonuses. Watch one of these happen live. Get the guide to Paris. Get the audiobook for free. Or check out our guest, today's guest, Instagram.com/Parisian postcards.
Oh, hang on. That's me.
That's you today.
Oh.
Yeah. So check her out. She does beautiful watercolor paintings of Paris. Puts them as a print on an Etsy shop. You can get that. Does it work that if they support your work, it gets better?
Definitely.
Does it?
Yes, of course.
Is that because you can buy better paint?
Well, no, it just allows me to take more time to do it. You know, I can prioritize it more.
I love it. There you go, guys. Have a lovely week wherever you are. Thanks for listening. We'll be taking pictures and videos and all that kind of stuff of the Bastille Day fireworks.
Oh, yes, that's soon. That's on Tuesday.
We're going to be in another Paris Perfect apartment just visiting this one. It's called, what is it called?
It's the Margot.
And it is that is such a beautiful apartment.
It's a stunner.
So we'll be sharing loads of pics from there. If you're in Chicago, I'll be spending Bastille Day at, I don't know what time it is for Chicago, but I know that it's 8 p.m. Paris time doing a Zoom. I think the tickets are free if you're a member, otherwise you can probably buy one. Zoom. You'll see what I'm talking about with all this Zooming. You don't need to be in Chicago to watch it. You can be anywhere.
You can even be in Hawaii.
Hawaii.
You could.
Yeah. So there you go, guys. I'll see you on Zoom. We'll be back with another podcast. I don't know if you'll be back with another podcast.
No.
No? You won't do two in a row?
No.
Okay.
Well, probably not.
Well, it was lovely.
Maybe.
It was lovely having you as a guest, as always. Like I said, you're my favorite. You're my favorite guest, and it's not just because we're married.
Here you go, €5.
Thank you very much. You're worth it every time, guys. Have a great week. I hope everything's well wherever you are. Hit that subscribe button. Leave a review. Maybe I'll read it out next week.
And do me a favor and have a lovely day.
From lovely Lina herself.
There you go.
Bye bye everyone.
Bye.
Au revoir.
Arrivederci.
Wrong show.